Good morning. I am calling to order our regularly scheduled meeting of the Committee of the Whole. My name is Elizabeth Glidden, and I am the chair of this committee. And I'm joined by council members Gordon, Kano, Reich, Bender, Yang, Warsami, Goodman, Fry, Palmisano. I think we may have a couple others joining us. I will note that both Councilmember Andrew Johnson and Councilmember John Quincy will not be able to join us. They're on city business today. We have one item. It is listed as a consent item, and this relates to our process around Community Action Agency. And this would be approving the appointment of Chief Administrative Law Judge Tammy Poost as presiding officer for the required public hearing regarding designation of a community action agency for the city of Minneapolis. And I'll just note before I ask if anybody would like to have questions on this that we welcome Council President Johnson here as well. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in approval, please say aye. 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 Opposed, and that item is approved. And I will just note on this that the city is prepared to, with a lot of action around helping to publicize this and get out the word on the public hearing that will be taking place. And so council members and the public can look forward to more information on that. So then we have reports of committees. And our first is Community Development and Regulatory Services with Councilmember Goodman.
Madam Vice President, there are 13 items on our agenda for Friday. Items 1 and 2 are land sales. Item number 3 is moving forward with selling side yard properties that are not buildable to adjacent owners, all in one large lump sum action. So staff is now directed to work with these different property owners to see if we can get these sold off as side yards. Item 3 is the land sale for the North Nicollet Hotel block to United Properties. There's an amended report. I don't know if that's gone out already or not. I have seen it. It looks like we've come to some kind of consensus with them on that. And so we'll be moving forward with that land sale tomorrow. Item 5 is a rental license revocation. I'll note this is the issue of Mahmoud Khan. We had a very lengthy quasi-judicial public hearing in committee, and the committee's recommendation is to revoke the 42 licenses for 42 properties, and it will probably go to court after this. So everyone will not be evicted on Friday. Item number 6 are the regular liquor business and gambling licenses. 7, 8, and 9 are license settlement conferences. 10 is the redevelopment of 4414 Humboldt Avenue. This is the former Kowalski's grocery store site. This is asking that the city get revisionary rights should the new grocery store project not move forward. Item number 11 is a memorandum of understanding with the Park and Recreation Board with regard to the Upper Harbor Terminal. Item number 12 is a resolution approving a redevelopment plan for an industrial section of the Bassett Creek Valley as part of the Bassett Creek Valley Master Plan. Item 13 is a modification to the Common Project Redevelopment Plan and tax increment districts with regard to using that as a potential source at Lake and Nicollet and swapping out other sources. And item number 14 is a non-emergency and emergency boarding contract. With that, I'll happily answer questions on items 1 through 14.
All right. And we have one question from Council President Johnson.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to acknowledge we have Casey Jevashensky in the room, and Casey's been just very involved in this 44th and Humboldt property, which is unique because it is owned by the county, and they need our consent to do work in our city. And it's a complicated project, and I appreciate his good work and representing our interests and moving forward on what will be an exciting development.
You should.
All right. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And I'm not in my council thing. So Councilmember Fry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just briefly regarding the Nicollet Hotel block parcel, what's coming forward for Friday is an authorization of the final signing agreement for the term sheet. And what we are hoping to do is link the term sheet as well as the development agreement to the design itself. So any approval of the term sheet will ultimately be contingent on getting a favorable approval from the full council on the design. As many of you may have heard, the design had to go through some modifications due to a loss and then a gain of the residential developer, and then a loss and then a gain of the hotel operator. But it looks like we're coming to a really nice design conclusion. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right. Any other comment? Okay. Next, we have Health, Environment, and Community Engagement with Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Health, Environment, and Community Engagement Committee is bringing forward 7 items. These all passed the committee on consent, so there wasn't any discussion or controversy. The first has to do with confirming the appointments to the Minneapolis Advisory Committee on People with Disabilities. Second is approving appointments to the Minneapolis Public Health Advisory Committee. The third item is formally passing a resolution to recognize the City Council as the Community Health Board for the City of Minneapolis. This is so we can be recognized by the state. The fourth item is accepting a grant from the Food and Drug Administration for Voluntary National Retail Food Regulatory Standards Program. The fifth item is authorizing a no-cost extension to a contract with ClearCore for Lead and Healthy Homes outreach services. The sixth item is a resolution that delegates authority to the Commissioner of Health to enter into a cost share funding agreements. This is in order to kind of streamline and make clear our green business program and cost sharing program so that we have a better contract with those groups than we've been using in the past. And the last item is just authorizing an agreement with consulting firm Ellingson Health Consulting to provide health policy and program consulting services for Healthy Living Program. And I can take any questions if folks have them.
All right, questions for Councilmember Gordon? Next, we have Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management with Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have 6 items for approval on Friday. The first 4 items are grant acceptances. The 5th item is 1-year contract extension with Corner House for its services, and the 6th item is a joint powers revenue agreement with the state of Minnesota Homeland Security and Emergency Management Division for the police department to provide bomb disposal units. And with that, I can answer any questions.
All right, questions for Councilmember Yang. Next, we have Transportation and Public Works with Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee is forwarding 15 items for consideration on Friday. Item 1 is a series of actions for street resurfacing programs with properties or areas listed. Item 2 is a reconstruction project layout approval and authorizing staff to negotiate acquisitions and easements as needed. To proceed with that project. Item 3 is a contract amendment with Vite and Company for stormwater pump station rehabilitation project. Item 4 is a maintenance use easement agreement with Walker Art Center for the Vineland Municipal Ramp project. Item 5 is the 3rd Avenue South redesign variance agreement for that area's project. The following items referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Item 6 is the storm pump station rehabilitation upgrade project, and it requires some action regarding temporary easements. Item 7 is agreement with Ryan Companies for downtown or East Downtown pedestrian realm improvements, and that's the agreement to reimburse them for the work that they've done for our right-of-way. Item 8 is the contract with Hennepin County for waste disposal services, and that is a term from January 1st, 16 to December 31st, 17 for $55 per ton. Item 9 is a master funding agreement extension with the Met Council for the Nicollet Central Modern Streetcar project. Item 10 is a contract amendment with Kramer North America for Burnham Road Bridge over Cedar Lake Channel project. Item 11 is a contract amendment with IPS for single-space parking meters. And item 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all accepting bids for materials, labor, and services for the Department of Business for 2016. With that, I'll stand for questions, Madam Chair.
Okay. Are there questions for Councilmember Wright? Not seeing any. Next, we have Ways and Means, and I believe I'm to give that report. Our most significant item were some updates to the ethics code ordinance. The rest were consent items, including settlement of a lawsuit, contract amendment relating to the convention center, rebid acceptance relating to Hiawatha HVAC equipment installation, a bid acceptance for fire station number 14 for HVAC equipment, the 2nd Avenue North and Van Wyck Memorial Boulevard redevelopment plan, emergency and non-emergency boarding contract amendment, the Food and Drug Administration Regulatory Standards Program acceptance of grants, contract extension relating to Lead and Healthy Homes outreach, cost share funding agreements that relate to Green Business Cost Share Program, the Healthy Living Program Consulting Services Agreement with Ellingson Health Consulting Services. That was approval of that. We had our Community Engagement Coordinator grant acceptance from the Joyce Foundation. We had another grant acceptance from relating to 2016 National Forensic Sciences Improvement. And this was from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. We had grant awards from Cerisi LLP and the Phillips Family Foundation for Bike Cops for Kids. We had a grant acceptance relating to adult DWI court. We had a contract amendment with Corner House for forensic interview service contract. We had a bomb disposal units joint powers revenue agreement with the state of Minnesota Homeland Security. The storm pump station rehabilitation upgrade project, temporary easements relating to that. We had, it says a Block 75 agreement. But anyway, it relates to East Downtown pedestrian realm improvements. We have a waste disposal services contract with Hennepin County, approving the negotiation execution of that contract. We had a master funding agreement relating to the Nicollet Central Modern Streetcar Project, and this is actually an extension of the term of the master funding agreement with the Metropolitan Council. We had a contract amendment relating to Burnham Road Bridge over the Cedar Lake Channel project. We authorized an amendment relating to the IPS contract for single-space parking meters. We accepted a bid for construction of concrete sidewalks, curb and gutter alleys, and drive approaches. We accepted a low bid relating to the Fridley Filter Backwash Supply Tank Project. We accepted a bid relating to riprap materials for the Public Works Paving Division. We accepted a bid relating to Washington Marquette Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project. And finally, we accepted a contribution from the Vikings to the city for the downtown East Commons, and this was for $2 million. And I'll see if anyone has any questions on that long list. Not seeing any. And so finally, we have our zoning and planning report with by Councilmember Bender.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 7 items from zoning and planning. Item number 1 is a recommendation to grant the appeal for a fence height variance at 2012 Cedar Lake Parkway. Item number 2 is a variance related to parking for the new Wells Fargo on Lake Street in Uptown. We reached a compromise there where we would allow 25 parking spaces, which is more than the maximum allowed, but are expecting an agreement to come forward that would allow those spaces to be open to the public during outside of business hours. Item number 3 was granting appeals of some conditions of approval for the new iteration of the NISE site at 112 East Hennepin Avenue. Very beautiful and scaled down version of that project. Item number 4 is a rezoning at 528 University Avenue Southeast to allow for a 5-room hotel there. Items 5 and 6 are regarding landmark designations for 404 West Broadway and 410 West Broadway. We went with staff's recommendation to approve the landmark designation for 404 and to deny the landmark designation of 410 West Broadway. And item number 7 is a rezoning application approving the rezoning at 2929 University Avenue Southeast to allow for a mixed-use building there as C3A zoning. Can answer any questions.
All right. Not seeing any questions. And I believe with that, we have concluded with our agenda and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.